Hello and welcome to this edition of Salem on the Move. I am your host Mike McLaren, and with me in this month of December we have two guests, Sam Skillern, who is the Executive Director of the Salem Leadership Foundation, and Denise Swanson, who is the Resource Development Director for United Way. Welcome.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us.
Great to be here, Mike. Thanks.
You know, I was brought up understanding the adage that it's more blessed to give than to receive, and I know a lot of people have, and so we talk a lot about the fact that giving is something good to do with our lives, and we'd concentrate this program on the giving that goes on in the Salem area, and both of you are so much involved in aspects of this community where giving makes things happen in a very good way. And so we thought we'd focus in on that. And Sam, maybe we can start with you, because sure. In giving that builds a healthier community, it kind of lends almost to something that you say quite often in your role with the Salem Leadership Foundation, which you might want to talk just sure. a little bit about, just so that our viewers know what the Salem Leadership Foundation is and what you do and your organization does to try to move Salem towards a healthier community.
Well, we believe with every fiber of our being that Salem-Keizer can become the healthiest community in Oregon. And I'm telling you, people used to chuckle when I would say that. It's been a couple years now, but we're hearing fewer chuckles and more right-ons, which I think is great. Salem can become the healthiest community in Oregon. Not that we could brag or boast or get big-headed about that, but what if the city that was the magnet for people with needs, the city with 6 prisons, the city with the state mental hospital, the city with all the social services being based here, that's not a bad thing. It's just a fact of life in Salem. Our history is we're a place where people come who have needs. Boy, what if we became the healthiest community in Oregon overcoming that? And I believe we're on our way. I really do. I think the generosity of this community, the vision of this community, the dedication of the community toward being healthy. And of course, healthcare has a big connotation right now. When we say the healthiest community, we mean every measure. Economically healthy, educationally healthy, family healthy, environmentally healthy, infrastructure, streets and street lights and parks, spiritually healthy. Any measure is what we mean, that we could become the healthiest community in Oregon. And I guess one of the ways we get there is by the generosity of the people who live here, which I think is off the charts.
So in a nutshell, Sam, the Salem Leadership Foundation, what specifically does SLF play in achieving that desired outcome?
Well, our mission, so visions are big, where do we want to go from here? So the vision is healthiest community. Our assignment, our mission at the Salem Leadership Foundation is to engage people of faith and people of goodwill, I got to do this with my hands, to engage them together to transform the community neighborhood by neighborhood. So people of faith and the rest of the folks in town, not good guys and bad guys and nothing about where anyone's coming from, people of faith, people of goodwill, working together to transform the community neighborhood by neighborhood. So that's what we're about. So we build bridges between the churches and schools, churches and neighborhood associations, churches and other nonprofits, churches and the business community, churches and the courts, wherever there's an opportunity to bring people together to meet needs. That's what we're all about. We do it in a lot of different ways, which would take quite a while to describe. It's kind of like United Way. It's kind of hard to sum up in one comment what we do. Bottom line, the health and well-being of the community.
And you share certainly those common denominators of trying to provide that health to the community. And Denise, a lot of people have heard of United Way, and maybe more so than SLF, but I think Sam and the SLF folks are really getting their mission out there. But describe, if you will, who makes up United Way, because it certainly is more than just the one entity. It's made up of a whole lot of member organizations. So talk about who makes up United Way and a little bit about what you do.
Great. So United Way really has traditionally been kind of that community catalyst and umbrella in the community to bring together, like our mission statement is bringing together people and resources to build a strong community. So very right along the same kind of lines. And so what people know United Way for is that we do a lot of funding of nonprofit organizations. And so we're really known as the organization that vets other nonprofits to make sure that they can measure what they're doing and that they're doing things that are working on the root causes of our problems. Because we know that as much money as we can try to throw around, things are not continually getting better with just money. We need more than that. So United Way works not only on the financial resources, but how we can bring volunteer resources into the nonprofit community, how we can bring businesses to the table, how we really can be the partner, and as I said, the catalyst of both nonprofits, business, and volunteerism, so the individual and the community as well. So we're known because we have currently 63 organizations that we are financially working with, but that's really just one piece of the pie, because we're also partnered with so many other businesses outside of nonprofit world that is also bringing the volunteerism and bringing in-kind goods into nonprofits as well.
Great. Just so that people have an idea of the structure of both your organizations, they are both locally driven by local people that serve on those boards of directors. And you want to speak just very briefly about that governance structure, because some may think, especially when it relates to United Way, they see United Way commercials on the NFL football games, but maybe there's somebody way somewhere else that's making decisions about United Way here, but for the record.
Right, so we have a national organization, United Way of America, which we like to call the mothership, and that really, what they do is, United Way has been in all of our communities in America for more than 70 years, and so what they really do is they help to provide some of the structure for the training, some of the research. United Way now really is working under what we call the building blocks of a good life: education, income, and health. And nationally speaking, United Way of America did studies to find out these are the issues in most communities, no matter where you are in the education spectrum of what your issues are. Graduation rate is what we need in order to get to the income where people have living wage jobs and sustainable income. And of course, then a healthy community through access to health insurance and a healthy lifestyle. But locally, United Ways are all run locally, and we're all working on local issues in the community. So we're volunteer driven, we're a small organization, and volunteer driven from our board of directors to our community impact council, which is volunteers in that education, income, and health arena. And they're really the ones that help us make all the funding decisions. We don't make those decisions on our own, we bring volunteers in to do that. And we are always working on what are the local issues here based on our assessments of the community, and in being out and talking to nonprofit leaders and business leaders and donors.
Great. We want to get to those assessments.
Well, I want to say something about United Way, because people need to understand United Way, especially in our area, isn't just a nonprofit that takes contributions and gets them to good organizations. You do that, and you do it well. But United Way is much broader than that. When my dad was a United Way volunteer 30 years ago, that's pretty much was the methodology. Companies getting money to United Way, who then would get it to organizations who would then help people in need. But today, United Way is you still do that. There's still that great conduit, but United Way is more than that. It helps the donors connect with the organizations and the people who are being helped. So there's this shrinking of the system. Instead of money getting to intermediaries, who then getting to people who need it, United Way helps bring the donor and the person in need closer together, the donor and the organization closer together. That's something I think our chamber and our business community also do. It's not just about businesses supporting financially, which they do well, but businesses and their people volunteering in schools, volunteering in the various programs that are helping folks, getting to know their neighbors in their own neighborhood, figuring out how to mentor kids and mentor families, walk alongside those who are in need. So in Marion County in general, and in Salem in particular, we're sort of shrinking the universe between need and resources, and it's kind of all just becoming a community. And some people have needs, we all do. Some people have resources. And how do we broker, how do we integrate, how do we connect needs and resources? And both the Chamber and United Way, and I'd like to thank Salem Leadership Foundation, we're figuring out ways of doing that. It's just people helping people. It's less about organizations and funding. It's people helping people.